Welcome to Nightmares Before Bed, a supernatural podcast where each show will explore dark and mysterious places, eerie creatures, and all things spooky and creepy. And speaking of spooky and creepy, please help me welcome your hosts Jonathan Rosen and Troy Cannon.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Nightmares Before Bed. I'm Jonathan Rosen, along with Troy Cannon, and we have a fun one today, one that I heard all about growing up a lot because I grew up in the Northeast. But you picked this, so I'm going to let you introduce this, but tell me about it and why you picked this one.
In the world of unusual things, you have the supernatural,
Yes.
which are going to be mythical, well, not actually mythical, but maybe magical type entities. And then you can have mythical things, which are going to be from old and ancient lore. And then you could have cryptids. Cryptids are going to be unidentified animals, usually unusual ones like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. The Jersey Devil is one of the rare occasions when you have a combination of all three. It is potentially a cryptid. It's potentially something that's actually physically walking around in Jersey. It is also, it's mythological because it is of an ancient lore from 1735.
That's the part I like the best, by the way, but go ahead.
Yeah. And it can also be any one of those three things. And it starts out 1735. A woman who is called Mother Leeds has 12 children, and she is possibly, potentially in league with the devil through witchery. She's witchcraft. She's a witch. She has her 12th child. The husband, who's very good at taking care of the household, is not really keen on taking care of the children. So it's a burden that she bears completely by herself. When she realizes she's pregnant with her 13th child,
Damn.
she curses the child. Doggone it, you dag nabbit, ding dang it, or whatever they used to say back in those days.
Right.
And she curses the child as a demon or to become a demon. Depending on where you look, you're going to find two different things. But
Depending on which version you hear.
Depending on the version. She cursed it, and maybe completely knowingly, or maybe she just forgot for a minute that she was a witch. This curse took a life of its own, and the child was born, blonde hair, blue eyes, and moments after birth, the child started to metamorphosize, and it grew horns, and its face changed into a horse-like face. Its body changed into a horse or kangaroo, again, depending on who you ask, type body, with large leathery bat wings and a serpentine tail. Then it killed the nursemaid, and it killed the father, and it killed the mother and the children. Now, as interesting as that is, the thing that I'd like to know is if it killed everyone in the house, who told the story?
Right. Yes.
That's something I'd like to know. But the story is what it is, and it became a folklore for Jersey.
You spent time in the Northeast, right? I mean, you did spend some years there before you moved down to Florida, right? So I grew up there. So I heard this story a lot. The hockey team's named after it, the New Jersey Devil. So I have heard of this story a lot. Not every story that you and I have picked have I heard of before we picked it. This one I have heard a lot of. Now, the thing is that I like these type of stories more than the recent ones and some of the others we've done, just because this has been cited for like close to 300 years now. It's not. So it's not like some new thing, like we did others that all of a sudden in 1960 something is the first time someone's seeing it. So those are the ones that always make me a little bit more skeptical. And I know back in like 1700 something, there was people didn't know things that would easily be explained today. Yes, I get all that, but to me, the legend or the lore holds more value to me if it's been through the years. That it's not some new little thing that people are just like making up some urban legend or whatever it is. That people have there've been sightings of something strange and creepy for hundreds of years now. So that's what that holds a much bigger fascination to me with all this. So what are some of the stories that you've read about people
Some
sighting?
stories I read, one of the biggest ones that I read was about Joseph Bonaparte. The name is probably familiar. Joseph Bonaparte, the brother, the older brother, I believe it was, of Napoleon Bonaparte,
Okay.
claims to have actually seen it and had his artist draw a picture of what he saw. He was so positive about what he had seen that he got a bunch of men together and went into the forest to try to capture it. I'm thinking another very interesting story. Now, I don't know that it was written anywhere that his brother went off on this particular adventure, but it's a part of the New Jersey lore that this dude and several other famous people have supposedly seen it. And like you said, it stands the test of time. It's one of those things that a long time ago people were saying it, and people were saying it, and people were saying it. And even to this day, people still see it. It reminds me of the story of the gorilla in Africa. The local people had seen the gorilla when Northerners had come to Africa, and they were like, yeah, we're going to go out there hunting. They're like, hey, be careful of those guys out there. There's big guys out there that's covered in hair, got fingers just like we've got, toes, hands, and they bark at one another. But if you get too close, they will rip you in half. And they didn't believe it. It was 60 years from when they were told about gorillas to where they actually documented gorillas. When they went out there, actually saw them and wrote down, yeah, they're right. They're big human looking things out there. And they gave, they were gorillas. The New Jersey Devil, to me, is something similar to that. People have talked about it, they've seen it,
Yeah.
and it's just, that's what a cryptid is. It just hasn't been documented yet. So it could be that it's probably not a demon straight from the bowels of hell.
Yes.
It's probably an animal of some type that they just haven't documented, or it could be, misidentification.
Right.
But whatever it is, like I read that not the hoot owl, not the barn owl, but one of the big owl. I can't remember what it was called. It's got a 5-foot wingspan.
Oh,
I can't
yes.
remember the type of owl it was, but there's an owl that lives in these woods also. And they said that it will attack a human, not as food, but, to get the heck out of here type of thing. And if one of these things flew at you with a 5-foot long wingspan, you would be aware. So it could be something as simple as that. But I don't know. I think people are maybe actually seeing things out there.
Well, here's the thing. Like you just said it. There have been reports. You have government officials, where besides Bonaparte, there have been other government officials. You've had police reporting things like that. People like throughout the town reporting things. This is over the span of a couple of hundred years. So, and there are newspaper reports about this too. And so it's one of those things that, to me, again, it stands more credibility than something like, again, that we just saw like 1970 something happened, and that was the first time we're seeing something. Yeah, something could be unearthed. Yes, we've all watched those horror movies or sci-fi movies. Something could be unleashed or unearthed, but the fact that it's so many years over thing, and I know people can talk themselves into things. We talked about that phenomenon too, that if it's supposed to be there, I'm seeing something there. That's it's that implant can be implanted in your mind, or that vision, or whatever it is. But to me, there's something to this, just because that so many people over the course of couple of hundred years have seen it. the same thing like you talked about with the Loch Ness monster, that people have seen certain things in that lake. So we don't know what it is, but there could be something there. There could be something like, again, misidentification. We don't know what it is, or there could be something there, and that holds fascination to me, that it's a possible. There is a possibility for that. So I don't. Did you read about any more recent ones? Normally you've gone and seen, like, you've done deep dives in any of the video things. So have you seen
I've
anything
got
more on this one?
in 1909,
Yes.
the largest sighting, and largest as in like the most amount of people. The largest sighting was in 1909, where the Jersey Devil was actually running through the town. It ran through the town, and people supposedly legitimately saw it. It caused such a large stir that schools were canceled, and people didn't want to send their kids to school or leave the house. Several people saw it run across rooftops, and the biggest thing was there was a trolley full of people. And for our viewers who don't know, trolley is bus.
Yes.
Back in the old days, it was like a bus on a rail, and there was a trolley going through, and a
Like
bunch
also
of
like a
people.
wire, like the overhead thing. No, that
It, it had what now?
trolley was like an overhead wire that it was attached to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was
And
growing up in Brooklyn.
yeah,
You could still see the trolley tracks in the street. There, I think that
yeah,
for the most part they got them, but you could still see them. But go ahead, sorry.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I think I want to say I was in Virginia. They still have trolleys. They still exist in some places, I
Right?
think.
Yes, yes. Well, San
Um,
Francisco for one. Yeah.
yeah. So the people on the trolley saw it, and they started jumping off the trolley in fear, and it ran back into the woods, and a bunch of people assembled and tried to find it, but more than 100 people verified seeing it at one time. And again, it was such a big stir that they started closing buildings. Now, this was 1909. They didn't have the internet. There was no cell phone. People weren't snapping pictures of it and sending them to each other on TikTok, doing little weird dances in front of it and stuff like that. But there were still supposedly credible eyewitnesses of its presence. So either there was a big bear that happened to have wings, or something that they could misidentify. And these were, it was 1909. These people were basically still living in the woods, compared to today. So they would see animals and stuff like that all of the time. And something, again, for our viewers, something that a lot of people don't know, even though this was Jersey, and you're probably going to be thinking about The Sopranos and Atlantic City and, stuff like that. There is a huge woodland in
Mm-hmm.
Jersey. There's a lot of woods out there. I mean, they get Bigfoot sightings,
There's still,
bear
yeah.
sightings. It's still today. It's huge
Right.
with forestry. So it would be fairly easy for something large to run into the woods and just disappear in the woods. I mean, it's a lot of woods out there.
Well, I mean, yeah. First of all, there was this. I know that one of the things they had was that the William Shatner unexplained tales of the unexplained, or whatever it was. They did an episode on the Jersey Devil as well. So there is interest in it. There is like people talking about this. They do have, like we've talked about in previous episodes, they have tours to go through the woods to try to show you the areas that the Jersey Devil has been seen. Or they also have the Jersey Devil like hunters that go out looking for this thing. So they do have things like that. But yeah, I mean, look at in New York when I've gone to like Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow is creepy. Sleepy Hollow, well, that's where the legend's from. But Sleepy Hollow is a lot of woods, a lot of wooded areas there too. So things could be there. Yeah, so things could be there that that get lost in it. Just like you said, it is possible that we might not come across something, or there is room for something to hide, because there are plenty of spots that you could get lost in, that just regular people could get lost in. So it is possible that something is there.
Now, the majority of the sightings takes place in a place in Jersey called the Pine Barrens, and it's an area.
Yeah.
It's a like a township. And a lot of that stuff happens there. There are roads, which, we're from Florida, a lot of roads that we would just call sandy roads,
Yeah.
but they call them sugar sand roads. And it's just a sandy road, but they call them sugar sand. And down these roads, people say that it's not unusual for it to dash in front of your car, which is a great reason for me to never take these roads. But this gigantic thing is running around. There's also a place called it's a ghost town of Basstown. It's a ghost town called Basstown, and it was an old 19th century town where they had log cabins and wooden, houses were still made specifically of wood and stuff like that. And it's an abandoned town. It's a ghost town. No one lives there. But they say that there is reason to believe that that's one of the places where the New Jersey Devil might live. It's near water, and no one often goes there.
Well, first of all, I love all these facts. During the time that we've been doing this show, how many times have we seen something that it's not just one legend, it's combined with another legend. It's you have not just the Jersey Devil, but you have the ghost town that's nearby. We've seen this in a couple of things that we've done, like the haunted things combined with like the some serial murder ghost type thing as well. So it's always the combination of the two. It looks like, but yeah, I saw that same thing. I saw about the ghost town, and it's not just Jersey. People, there are certain spots in Philly that are aware of this, that see this too, because it's like it's on the border and it's connect. The woods are connected, but it is more famous for Jersey. But yeah, and I was reading if it goes back to the original Leeds child, so it has to be some sort of cryptid, but I don't know if it's supposed to look more like a person, a human, than it doesn't, because the pictures that are drawn of it. I mean, there's no actual the pictures that are drawn on it does not look human at all. It could be. It could look even like a mini dragon in some type of ways, like that snout or whatever, the large leathery wings. But I don't know how human it looks, but it does. I guess it could, because it has the two leg thing. Like the picture behind me, like something like that. But it's I don't know. It is very odd to me, but it is something that I could believe in. I mean, what do you think? Do you think deep down inside, would you give it possibility?
Deep down inside, I would not trek those woods by myself.
Well, because
Just
of the
in
Jersey
case.
Devil, or just because you don't want to trek those woods by yourself? Because again,
Well, well, it's like I said, when people go look for Bigfoot and they only bring a camera,
right.
they're not really expecting to find Bigfoot because, if they find Bigfoot, they're going to get their back snapped. I would, I would imagine going in that woods, even if I didn't see the Jersey Devil, I would still know there's bears out there.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they got cougars out there, but there's definitely bears and probably wolves. I'm not going in there for the practicality of the danger. Now, the supernatural aspect of the danger, it's just the cherry on top because it could be so many people have seen that, so many people have talked about it, and so many people have sworn by it. No, it's there, man. That I think I wouldn't take the chance. I mean, when I left, I used to live in Jersey. When I left Jersey to move to Florida, I was young. I was still pretty young. But even in my youth, I can remember people using that to keep kids from wandering around. Jersey Devil might get you. It didn't matter where we were at in Jersey. I mean, I was born in Elizabeth, and I lived in Newark. It's not in the same area, but
What
they
age
would
did you
still.
move to Florida? What age did you move?
I moved when I hit Florida. I was like 11, I think.
Oh, so you grew up. You were enough time in Jersey to know about it and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was there long enough so that when they were saying the thing to me, it resonated as something that should scare me. And the fact that adults were talking about this scared me even more because if kids talked about it, it's like, ooh. But if an adult says it, I'm like, hey, that might be real.
Well, there's still adults talking about it. There's still people in that area believe. I mean, it's not just like oh, you're talking about that stupid legend or whatever. People in that area,
Yeah,
there are a lot of people in that area that believe, and it's like the same thing we saw with Mothman. They take pride in it. They take pride in this is the area that the Jersey Devil is from. And they have like the towns around it, sell that merchandise, of course, so it's good for tourism. But people do, value that they have this celebrity type thing, and there have been many YouTube videos going searching for it. I saw that like again, there are devil hunters that go searching for it. So yeah, I agree. There are a lot of adults that do believe in it today. And again, I'll go back to that thing that you have 250 or whatever years, over 250 years of sightings around it now.
Yeah.
It's yeah, we're going into close to 300 years now. I mean, so really that there have been sightings of this, whatever it is.
And you know what? And the thing that gets me about it is that like it reminds me of the story of Krampus. Krampus
Yes.
was a terrible, horrible, demonic creature
Right.
that was in direct opposition of Santa. But when people say Santa, and then they say Krampus, you're thinking about, oh, it was he was cute. He'd put a piece of coal in your stocking if you weren't good. But that is not what Krampus did. Or like say the djinn, which became the genie.
Yeah.
Now he's blue. He's in a puff of smoke. He grants you 3 wishes. He takes you off into Disneyland and stuff like that. But they were evil.
Yep.
In the original story. So were vampires and Frankenstein and all this other stuff. They're sugarcoating what the original story of the Jersey Devil was. I mean, he started out, first thing he did was kill the nursemaid, his pop, his mom,
He killed his
his
family.
siblings. He slaughtered people. In the original stories, he was, finger across the throat to children that he'd find and stuff like that. It's terrible. But now you can buy a jersey with a hockey team and have him
Yep.
on it, and it looks cool. So they kind of sugarcoat it. So that's another thing that makes me think about it, because like that, okay, I'm segueing, but like that nursery rhyme, London Bridge is falling down.
Right.
That's nursery rhyme is about a tragic,
Yep.
terrible event that actually happened.
Right.
But in order to, compartmentalize it in our brains, we make it something that's more digestible. Make it a kid's song. When vampires are evil and they're coming to get you, put them on a box of a cereal, make them more digestible. This thing, because they have taken it and tried to make it more digestible, is another thing that makes me go, why would they do that? Why would they have to take the time to try to smooth out that legend unless there was something there? Makes me wonder.
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, the London Bridge, the London Bridge was, people should go look up London Bridges, what the song is, because it's a catastrophe what it's based on. But it's the same thing. Reminds me that's what, like, Nightmare on Elm Street used that same thing for, like, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you, like all the kids singing. So they take that, horrendous event and make it into a kid's song. But so okay, so let's not talk about belief in the actual creature. Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, how plausible do you think that there might be something there?
I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it a 6.75, or maybe a 7, because if it's not, I mean, people are definitely seeing something. And even if it's just a bear or one of these gigantic bats, or owls or something like that, it is still a dangerous thing. It might not be an 8-foot tall ram's horn, horse-faced giraffe with bat wings. It might not be that, but it might,
Right.
But I think that, you don't really know until you know. This one is more plausible to me than some of the other ones that we've done. Some of the other ones, they seem more folklorish. This one seems like it could be a thing,
I agree. I totally agree with you on that. I'm trying to think of some of the others that we've done, but it's I'll bring them up right now. But I do think this has more credibility than some of the other things that we've done. Let me look at our page again here. Like the pig man. I would give this more credibility than the pig man. things like that. I would give this more credibility. I'm not. I'm not sure about the. I'd even give it more credibility than the Kuchisaki Onna thing. I'd even give it more credibility than that in some of the things. And even yeah, you know what? I'm not going to say the melon heads because the melon heads I could see because that could be like some inbred type of thing again. But I would give it more than the Pigman or the Kuchisaki Onna because of it's been out for so long, and the Pigman has not. And, you know, it's the Mothman has been around for a while a bit again too, but I don't know. I give this more credibility. I'm with you. I think like a 6 to 7 as far as believability that there might be something there. So, and I'm with you also. I'm not sure I would go into that area alone at night, but that's regardless. That's whether or not there's a New Jersey Devil or not. I'm not going into the woods alone at night either. I'm not sure about during the day either, but but I also agree with you on this one. Anything else that you want to cover on this, or we think we're good on this?
I think we're good. I mean, when we were thinking about something for the new one, when you were like, yeah, let's think about something for next week, I could just see my uncle all of a sudden saying, you know, Jersey Devil's going to get you if you go outside at night. And I was like, oh, well, we don't want any of that. So I was thinking, oh, wow, Jersey Devil, that would be a good one. But yeah, it's something that resonated with me since I was little. And you know, I mean, you know, you see stuff in dark sometimes, and you know, you have flashbacks of your childhood, you know, traumas and stuff. And sometimes I see little things in the corner of like when I come upstairs, you turn the lights off, you walk upstairs, I'm positive someone's standing behind me. And I saw a video where a guy said everybody thinks that. I don't know, but I definitely think it. And sometimes, you know, different spooky things. Sometimes it's that Jersey Devil.
You know, everyone thinks that, and then the one time that you come there, there's someone standing there with a knife. Oh no, it's just my imagination. I'm just gonna go. But let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you believe in it, what stories you've heard about it, and where you would rank this on the, I guess, the credibility scale and anything. So again, this has been the Jersey Devil because this was a good one. So again, this has been Nightmares Before Bed. I'm Jonathan Rosen with Troy Cannon, and please like, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you for watching Nightmares Before Bed. And now, it's time to shut the lights, close your eyes, and go to sleep, if you can.